Market guest Sachin Shah, fund manager at Emkay, now joins in. Sachin, hi, good morning. The market is back to all-time highs. Really, the correction is behind us. But from here on, what would be a good strategy? Would you be staying invested in high beta cyclicals, or would you now shift your portfolio towards defensives which underperformed in October?
We are in the midst of the earnings season, and from most of the results that we have seen, and if I have to look at it from a sectoral perspective, I think 3 or 4 sectors have actually come out quite well. One of them is the private sector banking. Of course, ICICI Bank results haven't yet come out, but HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, HDFC Limited. So private sector banking and financial services have actually delivered quite decent results. The second is the auto space, where the two-wheelers, Hero Motors and Bajaj have also come out with quite decent results. We also expect Maruti results to be decent. The third is the IT services space, where we've seen Infosys and Tech Mahindra coming out with pretty decent results, and the valuations over there are also fairly reasonable. Of course, in some of the other sectors like FMCG and pharma, we've also seen some good results, but the valuations over there are already a little, I would say, fully priced. So, and of course there is one more sector, which is the power sector, where there's a lot of action, happening from the government side, and we expect that the overall, the bottlenecks which are there, or the hurdles which are there in the sector, will actually be, they will be getting out of it, so that the power sector, the power generation, power transmission overall, things start moving up quite well. So, some of these sectors, I think the positioning over there should do well in the next few quarters also.
Okay, well, keep your eye out on DLF, where that stock has come off the day's high, but it's still holding up with a gain of around 3.5%. There are some statements which are coming up in terms of arguments on the DLF versus SEBI case. So even the SAT and its observations are flashing on your screen. We'll try and get you more details on that, but DLF is one stock in focus. But Sachin, there are a slew of numbers which are coming out today from the Nifty space. If, for example, you had to take a position in one of them ahead of its numbers, I know it's a bit of an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Which one would you be most confident on? ACC or Ambuja, ICICI Bank, IDFC, Maruti or Bharti?
Let me make a disclaimer first that we already have positions in our funds in ICICI Bank and IDFC. So obviously we would like the numbers over there to come much stronger and much better. So we do have a very positive view on this company. Saying that, I think the way the results of Idea came out, I think Bharti results should also be good. And we also hope the Maruti results will continue to deliver good numbers.
Okay. Sachin, what's your call on DLF right now? I mean, would you take a punt on this stock after the kind of fall that we have seen, or would you stay clear?
So frankly, we don't have any exposure to the real estate sector, and as far as our fund philosophy is concerned, we don't like to invest in this sector. So we have no call on this sector as such.
What about frontline IT, and within that, what would be your pecking order?
So clearly, Infosys is our topic where we already have a significant, in fact, it's one of our top holdings in the funds. I think the valuations are extremely reasonable. The leadership has very clearly articulated the roadmap and has come out saying that they want to be the leaders in the industry. And they've also, looks like they're working very hard on it. And the cost structure was always in place. What needs to come in now is the top line revenue growth. We have seen some signs of it coming in the recent quarter. And the most important thing is that the valuations are very reasonable. I think they will do close to about in the range of 215 to 220 rupees of earnings March 15, which is just about probably 18 times current price March 15, just 6 months forward. I don't remember Infosys trading at such a reasonable valuation in a long time. And now that we are seeing the turnaround in the company in terms of their overall outlook, I think that looks clearly one of the better picks.
Okay. Sachin, BHEL has had a good series and a decent year as well. I mean, 42% gains on a YTD basis. If you had to choose between BHEL as well as then Larsen and Toubro, which one would you possibly take fresh positions in for incremental gains from current levels?
In the power sector, our view has been that it's the more than the power generation. In the next few years, it's the transmission and the distribution which is where the action is going to be, and that's why we have actually in our fund have a very decent position on the power T&D side. So we have a very strong position on power grid. We prefer that over the power generation companies or power generation equipment companies like BHEL or L&T at this point in time.
Sachin, in the mid-cap basket, if you have 3 or 4 names that you would want to give our viewers?
Most of these companies that I'll be talking about, as a disclaimer, again, would like to say that we already own some positions there. One of the results which came out and we were quite impressed with in this quarter was in the consumer space, and again in the mid-cap space, was Bajaj Corp. We felt the results were quite good, and even the outlook on the business is quite strong. So we believe that this is, and also again in consumer space, to find companies with a very reasonable valuations is difficult. But this is one company which is probably available at just about maybe 20 times 6 to 8 months forward, and with a very high dividend yield ratio. This is one company which we like during this quarterly results. Other than that, as I said, in the power sector, we like Power Trading Corporation, PTC India, which is into the power trading business. They have been delivering good results. The management has also been talking of very strong volume growth for the next couple of years, at least 2 to 3 years. And even if you see the IIP data, it has the power within that, the IIP data has been growing at almost 10% for the first half of this financial year. So clearly indicating that the power volume should be doing well, which in turn should be benefiting this company. The other company which we also like in the space is VIP Industries. Of course, the results were not so good. But I think the way the discretionary spending is happening, and the way the travel habits are changing, this is one play for the travel and leisure industry that we would like to be positioned in.
Okay. Quick question, Sachin, on Zuari Agro. You look at the agro/chemical space quite closely. Would you have a view on that stock? It's up around 15% reacting to its numbers.
Zuari Agro, I have no view on that company. We have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. Any disclosures?
So most of the companies that I would have spoken about, we have positions in those companies in our PMS, in our portfolio management services.
Okay. All right, Sachin, we leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining in.